Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Shadow from TCG, bringing you guys another leader, another locals. This time I'm running King. I won dice roll, chose to go first, so giving him the better curve. But for King, I want to at least open up with stage, and I end up top decking it right here. So I swing 5 at lead. He's debating on whether he wants to take it or counter out of it. As Luffy, when I used to play it, I used to always counter out a majority of the swings because I want to do my leader ability as much as possible so I can ramp. So essentially, I am still taking a hit regardless, but I will recoup a card with taking my life. So he ends up countering out with the 5-cost kid and pass the turn to him. Here he's gonna swing 5, and he's gonna do the old way, not an old way, but kind of the new way of ramping. And you see here in a second, he's gonna play out the Bon Clay and ramp an active Don. He kind of misdid it, the sequencing of it. If you would have did the Bon Clay first, would have got the active Don, could have attached it to the Pluffy and swung for 6. So it would have forced me to have to use a 2K instead of that pudding that I just countered out with. You also could have did leader ability and got 2 Don active that turn. So he could have ramped pretty quick right there. He could have been at 6 if that was a choice he wanted to do. So I end up playing the 1-cost queen that lets me search for an animal kingdom card, but it cannot be a queen. So the 1-cost queen cannot search the 5-cost blocker queen, which sucks. There's been a couple times where I've searched and whiffed that queen to the bottom of the deck. But other than that, I'm deciding on what I want to do. I don't want to play out a body and give this Bon Clay easy attack stats because the Bon Clay copies my character cards. So I'm going to opt to attach 3 Don to my leader and swing for 8, which hopefully forces him to take it, which he decides to do. And I'm going to tap 2 and play out a blocker Shiki, where on play, if I have 8 Don, I get to draw a card and I have to trash a card. So a way of cycling out, seeing if I could find different pieces, but really I just put it out to have a little vanilla blocker so he can't swing big at me. I also tapped the stage to get a Don. So this stage is essential in King just because it's a consistent way of me ramping. Although it is rested, which sucks, it is free Don. Also, if I had the pudding that I used for counter, it would let me ramp a rested back. So it's like a knockoff version of the 5-cost kid. Not as great, but it'll do the job. So here, my opponent, Muscan, my buddy, he's gonna tap 5. He's gonna rest 2, and he's gonna play out the poly. Still learning the deck, so you're gonna see he kind of does it a little awkward. But he's gonna do this so he could continue to apply pressure to my leader. So you're gonna see he ramps the Don before resting the 2. Little awkward sequencing, but he does pop the blocker Shiki, which now opens up my leader to a swing, and he's gonna swing at me for 6. I decide to take it here just to give me more options, but also not counter, and a misplay on my part, but we correct it. Although if it is a big event, that card would be just in the trash just because of the out of the sequence. This is the first day I was using the King deck, so we're just, messing around with it. But the Who's Who out of life can KO a 3-cost or less, so making that Bon Clay not reachable. So obviously it's best to just keep it in the hand for a 2K counter. Again, if this was anyone else, that would have just, nope, that card's in the trash. I'm going to start the turn. I was considering on ramping. No matter what, the ramp is going to happen just to put me at 10 Don. But I'm deciding on how I want to go about the turn. So I'm going to start off with doing the queen search again, looking at the top 5. And you're going to see me think about what exactly I want to do. There was a couple things I could have did. I believe there was like a 6-cost king, but off the search, I'm going to grab the jack, the 7-cost jack from OP8. I don't know why it took so long to think about it. Obviously, this new POV, I can't see the hand perfectly, so I can't give you my absolute thoughts. This was already a couple days ago, so All I know is that the face down card is a jack. There's a 6-cost king at the bottom of the search stack. But I'm going to grab the jack. I'm going to play out the jack right away. And then I'm going to use my leader ability, which he has 2 abilities. Don -2. I could choose to either draw a card if I have 5 or less in my hand, or give something -2. And I chose to give the Bon Clay -2. And I'm going to use Jack's ability to rest him, draw a card, and trash a card to KO the Bon Clay. I choose the Bon Clay over the Poly because Bon Clay can copy an attack stat, and he could have copied Jack's 8k stat line and swung, 8k at my leader, or just attached on to Bon Clay and swing at the Jack and potentially clear the Jack that same turn. So the Bon Clay was definitely the better target in my eyes. And then here, my opponent he's got a fat hand, and Pluffy usually has a lot of counter. It's either a lot of counter or a lot of bricks. So I have seen a lot of Magellans in his hand. So he's gonna start swinging 9 at the Jack. I counter out with that who's who. That if I would have misplayed, I did misplay it, but if we would have kept it that way, I wouldn't have had that. Swings at life. I take it, and then he plays out Urashima. And then you're gonna see here a board clear of a century. So I tap 9, which I play out the Kaido, where if I trash a card, I can trash a 7-cost or lower character on my opponent's field and then force him to trash a card, which trashes a Poly. And then I use my leader ability to give -2 to Poly, tap Jack, and draw a card, and I'm gonna trash one so I can clear his board. So I was able to get rid of a 5-cost and a 7-cost in the same turn. It's pretty nutty. And I still have 1 Don left. So I'm gonna swing 6 at his life. That's the only swing I can do since I didn't swing with the Jack, which is a better way because he could have potentially saved the Poly since that would have been his only swing. So doing the Jack ability was the better choice. And I ramp a Don, which leaves me with 1. Doesn't matter because no matter what, next turn I will be at 10 Don. Unless if you would have played a Magellan, would have thrown me off curve if I didn't ramp with the stage. So he swings big at the Jack. I counter out with 3k, so he swung for 10. And he plays out the Queen. Don minuses, now he draws 2 and he's going to trash 1. Able to filter out some of the bricks out of hand, which he drops a Miss All Sunday, which is a good card for the purple Luffy. So here I'm trying to figure out how to swing at his life where he won't use the Queen as a blocker. I could attach swing big and it could clear the Queen anyway, but I'm trying to see what I can get for value. So you're gonna see in a second, I'm gonna tap a Don and I'm gonna play out Sasaki. Sasaki is one of these new OP8 cards that specifically is good in King, since it is searchable and it's a 2k counter, but it's gonna be a one cost. Then you have to rest the character and rest an active Don and give something -2. So finally hit the field. I'm going to opt to do it this way. So I give that -2. Then I'm going to use the Jack to pop the Queen, cycle out my hand, find something better. I chuck the Conquest of the Sea. I don't need it. I'm able to remove pretty much anything that he plays onto the field instantaneously. So I don't need that event card. And then I do my leader ability to draw a card off the 2 Don that I used with the Sasaki to fill my hand up. And I'm going to swing 5 across the board. So attach 3 Don to both Queens, swing for 5. He gives me 2 1Ks, and I'm going to swing 7 at life and then 9 with the Kaido. He ends up taking both of those. Full on pressure, even with the little bodies. And at this point, he's in a rough spot. He wasn't able to play out the Kaido in a timely manner, which is one, I don't know if he had it or if it was in his life, because you see it's in his hand right now. But if he was doing his leader ability to be able to ramp, he potentially would have been able to get there faster than I was able to get to Jack. So he's trying to figure out how much that Sasaki gives for a -2 or a minus cost on my characters. And the best thing would have been is to pop the Sasaki, but he's gonna swing 6 and I think a Queen. He's debating on what he wants to do. No, he doesn't swing 6. He's gonna swing 5 because right here he's gonna play out the Kaido, which is his best play currently. But he should have swung 5 at the Sasaki over the Queen, just because I'm gonna get more value off of Sasaki than the Queens. Yep, a lot of thinking going on by Muscan. We call him king of the slow players that are local. So yeah, he clears the Queen, which was the wrong choice right here. The Sasaki would have been the better choice, just because it does give something -2. But he plays out the Kaido, does the Don minus, does not pop anything looking back at this, but he swings big at the Kaido. If he would have did the Kaido ability, which he did, he could have popped either the Queen or the Sasaki, and he didn't declare either one. So luckily for me, he didn't pop the Sasaki. So I use the Sasaki ability, tap 9, play a Kaido, trash a card, and I trash his Kaido automatically. If that didn't happen, I would have had to play the Kaido out first, Don -2, and then use my leader ability. Instead, I'm going to do this way, and I'm going to Don -2, and I'm going to draw a card. Yep, so since I'm at 1 card, I was able to draw a card off that since he didn't pop the Sasaki. And then here at this point, I have a full board. He has no life. He's now down to, I believe, 6 Don? 5? No, he's at 7 Don right now, since he didn't have a kid on the board. And at this point, no matter what he does, it's going to be GG's in my favor. I have 5 swings, and I'm going to counter out, and he just concedes. If you guys like the content, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below what you guys thought, and catch you guys in the next one.